And here's a post from Nancy Mace. Contrary to Pam's lies, I did not vote to impeach Donald Trump. He and I have a good relationship. And she posts herself taking a selfie with Donald Trump fuzzy in the background. She don't got no circle. She don't got nobody that can talk to her. I did say she didn't have no friends. This is what happened. This is what happens when you don't have no girlfriends. This is what happens when you don't have no girlfriends. You out here posting, he done told you he don't want you. He done told you he don't want you. And you out here posting, he ain't even clear. He fuzzy in the background. He fuzzy in the background. It's only gonna get worse till somebody take her phone. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. And the latest edition of the FAFO files. Hey, Nancy Mace, you remember this?
Nancy Mace, where's Nancy? Here's something. And I will tell you, she's a fighter. I know about that. She's a fighter. And when you get her on your side, you're both lucky and smart. And she really has. She's been a real good fighter for us, and she's somebody who's done a very good job. And she does. When she sets her sight on something, she's tough. And that's what we want, Nancy Mace. Thank you, Nancy.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace at Trump headquarters. Mace has endorsed Donald Trump and has been mentioned as a potential running mate. We'll see what happens going forward.
Hey, who want to tell her? Hey, who want to tell her? From Nancy Mace, Pamela Evette is not endorsed by Donald Trump. Do not believe her lies. Fake Mace posted this 9 hours before PDF Donald endorsed her opposition without saying his name. Now fake Mace is actually on about PDF Donald. She's butthurt now. Nancy Mace, you said don't believe her lies? Don't believe her lies? You should have known he was lying when he endorsed you. He called you a fighter. And what happened when you said we could take it outside?
I will not do that. I am not a child. I am reclaiming my time. If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
Point of order.
Did you go outside? Did you go outside? But yet he called you a fighter. You should have knew what it was then.
He's right, you know.
And here's how it's going. Trump snubs Mace with endorsement of Pamela Evette for South Carolina governor. President Trump endorsed a GOP challenger to rep Nancy Mace's campaign for South Carolina governor, backing Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette in the contest. The president lauded Evette as an American First Patriot who, quote, never wavered in a true social post on Friday evening. Nancy, no, we gonna slow cook this one. We gonna slow cook this one. Let me get this straight. You flipped a Democrat-held seat, condemned January 6th.
Leading up to the events and to the rally on January 6th, the violence that could transpire, not only were our lives in danger, but if my kids were here, their lives would have been in danger too. The two most precious people in my life.
Beat a Trump-backed candidate in a primary, then switched all the way over to become a MAGA firebrand.
This is a continued conspiracy with the mainstream media, with the fake news who cover up, make excuses for, and hide the truth from the American people because they're in bed with Obama. They're in bed with Democrats. They're in bed with the far left. And they will do anything in their power to hurt Donald Trump.
25 years ago, I became the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military college of South Carolina. I fought my way through it.
So pronounce her name right.
Let me
actually pronounce her name right.
Kamala Harris. If
Kamala.
You said
we're not calling you Nancy Mace.
Backing McCarthy's ouster, started attacking Republicans from the right, runs for governor as a Trump loyalist, and Trump endorses somebody else anyway. Nancy Mace, you compromised everything that held you together as a human being, only to discover how pick me ends. You wasn't lying when you said you ain't have no friends.
Oh, I'm not part of the powerful. I'm not part of the elite. I'm an island of one. I don't get invited to parties. I don't have any friends. I have a dog.
Nah, you wasn't lying about that. Now you ain't got no friends. I can't believe that. This lady pulled stunts voting in her pajamas for nothing.
What time is it? 9 o'clock? 8:45? 8:52? We made it an hour to go to the vote.
You was out here walking the halls of Congress in your pajamas for nothing. Look like somebody who DC Metro Police should have picked up for nothing. Got them talking about you day drinking, staff passing rumors out into the public. Remember that time that you just got up there and decided to grandstand talking about a trans person with no information about a crime whatsoever? Remember that?
And
I don't really care. You want pieces in women's bathrooms, and I'm not going to have it.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Remember that time you were fighting with your own constituent in the store in order to try and score some points online? I bet you'd like to have that one back.
You're going to be voted out so fast this year. I can't wait for you to go into the dirt.
So much.
You're a disgrace to this state. That's what you are.
I bet you that's a vote you could appreciate right now. That's crazy. You spent all that time gatekeeping the bathrooms in the Capitol, only for it to end like this. My goodness. You know? And look, if you want to stand up to Trump, there's like a perfect model for you in Zora Mamdani. Oh, wait. Oh, no, wait. Because you decided to trump that one up, didn't you? You remember this? Should Zora Mamdani be denaturalized and deported? Ah, that's awkward now, isn't it? That is awkward now, isn't it? No, because it was all sweet when you was in Congress airing out Michael Eric Dyson. It was all sweet then.
I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without objection.
Then the guy says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other.
meanwhile,
What'd you say? What that got to do with this? I'm still not over it. I'm still not. Michael Eric Dyson, this was you? This was you? It gets worse. Every week, it gets worse. She's still in her pajamas at the gas station in her pajamas. Now, Nancy Mace, help me with something because you went into the tank for Trump somehow saying that he protects women. You remember that? You remember that?
Donald Trump protects women, just like Republican men, they protect women.
He protects women. Now, you're somebody who likes to jump in on the gender debate and ride that for all it's worth and our culture wars. So would you be considered a woman in that? Would you be because he ain't, you know what I mean? You ain't get that protection. You ain't get that protection. So what that mean, Nancy Mace?
I want to take what's broken in South Carolina.
By the way, shout out to all my good people of South Carolina. Shout out to Sumter and Somerton and Columbia and Florence and Orangeburg and Spartanburg and Myrtle Beach and Manning and Davis Station, Gaffney, Irmo, Monk's Corner. Does the south of the border count? The south of the border? No, because I used to stop there and go to the bathroom. And then my mama tell me I can't have no ice cream. So south of the border.
And I want to burn it down to the ground and build it right back up, right where it needs to be. I am Trump in high heels.
You Trump in high heels? So does that mean you don't believe in you neither? Is that what that, huh? You got more confidence and faith in Pamela Evette deep down in your soul? Is that what you're saying?
I love what I am doing. I'm following his lead.
You following his lead, so I expect you dropping out of the race anytime soon now. Yeah, I do. Yeah, as soon as you put on some day clothes, I assume you're going to drop on out the race. If you following his lead, that's where he went.
This is egregious work. This is nasty, egregious work.
Nancy Mace is probably one of the 5 most disgusting, vituperative politicians right now in the House, knowing that all she craves is the spotlight and to accumulate power. It's going to give me such immense joy when she loses all the relevancy she desperately craves, when she doesn't even make the runoff for the primary. Going to be my own personal Schadenfreude day. You heard that, Nancy Mace. Vituperative. She vituperative. Look that up. That's my word for the day. After Trump endorsed one of her primary rivals, it's deeply cathartic to see House witch Nancy Mace tweet her way through it. She's got a bottle of wine in one hand and her phone open on this app in the other, and every tweet of desperation from her brings me immense joy. Enjoy your political career being officially dead. Nobody will miss you. Hey, that's not true. That's not true. I'm sure it's a couple of corner stores that be open late around the Capitol that's probably going to miss Nancy Mace. I'll be honest. Yeah, they will. Your political career is going down faster than the Titanic. You showing a look what I can do meme from 2022 is peak copium. I'd almost feel sorry for you. Then I remember what a vile human being you are.
You're a disgrace to the state.
Wait a minute. A look what I can do meme from 2022? Do tell. Mace wins South Carolina congressional primary over Trump-backed opponent. Man, she just posted this. Hey, Nancy Mace, are you going hard? You want to go out hard? I would love to see it, quite frankly. I would love to see it. You had one up on Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott. If you go out like a G, let's see it then. Nancy Mace speaks out after Trump publicly rejects her run for governor. Mace, writing on X, blamed the snub on her support for the release of the Epstein files and insisted she didn't want the endorsement if that's what robbed her of it. I know I put the likelihood of an endorsement on the line when I demanded transparency on the Epstein files. I demanded it because you deserve the truth, all of it. And as a survivor of a corrupt and broken court system, I will always pursue justice for those who deserve it. If sacrificing my values is the price of an endorsement, I will never pay it. By the way, also subbed out of an endorsement was Rep. Ralph Norman, a fellow South Carolina lawmaker who was enthusiastically cheerleading Trump's push to redraw congressional districts and delete majority black seats to give more to Republicans. The push in South Carolina died earlier this week, at least for now, as Republicans conceded they didn't have time in the session. Let's see. So you believe it was the Epstein files that cost you the endorsement? Well, let's look at the evidence. Why is the warmongering PDF protecting POS going after everyone that wants Epstein PDFs arrested? Why is Trump protecting them? Here are the 4 Republicans that worked the hardest to get the Epstein files released. We got Massey, Mace, Marjorie, and Boebert. Well, that certainly looks pretty cut and dry now, doesn't it? That looks pretty cut and dry. It couldn't get any easier if he posted the evidence himself. Trump posted the evidence himself, didn't he? Get in, loser. We're going losing. And you wonder why he came in with so many charges. You know what I mean? You wonder why he came in with so many charges.
It's sad, isn't it?
Now let's do this. The idea that wanting full transparency on the Epstein files becomes the line that you cannot cross to stay in Trump's good graces boxes you into a pretty disgusting corner now, doesn't it, MAGA? See, we don't frame things this way because our media is entirely cooked, but let's just grapple with what it means that the Republicans who wanted full transparency on the Epstein files end up on the outs. And he's very open about that fact. Let's grapple with what that means for you, for your party, and for your brand. Yeah. Now, when it comes to you, Nancy Mace, here's an interesting thing, because where I back you here when it comes to the Epstein files, and I appreciate your comment about if that's the thing that cost me an endorsement, then I don't want it. But you talk about compromising your values and this, that, and the other thing. How you think you got over here? Huh? How you think you got over here? Huh? You did a bigger bend than J.D. Vance. It's that bad. Now let's see what Trump had to say himself. Highly respected and very popular Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina, Pamela Evette, is an America First Patriot who's been with me from the very beginning. She never wavered, never let me down, and was the only South Carolina gubernatorial candidate to endorse me as soon as I launched my 2024 presidential campaign. Oh, so they want to make it about the endorsement. That's their excuse. Well, that's not going to go very far.
A no good, very bad day for Nancy Mace. She lost out on the Trump endorsement for her South Carolina gubernatorial primary. And I have some newly reported details that haven't been out there before about this kind of weird backstory with her endorsement of Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. So the reason this came up for me was there's a line in Trump's True Social post about the Mace endorsement where he's basically saying, like, hey, this candidate, Pamela Evette, she endorsed me first of anyone in the race for my 2024 presidential campaign, and she never let me down, blah, blah. Of course, never let him down. That's kind of code for the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And a scoop I had in my profile of Nancy Mace for New York Magazine was that she basically knew that she had kind of, cooked herself in terms of getting the Trump endorsement for that primary because of her vote for the discharge petition for the Epstein files. So Trump puts this thing out today, of course doesn't mention anything about Epstein for why he's not endorsing Mace in South Carolina. But then it occurs to me, something that didn't make it into that profile was this kind of an interesting, juicy story about the timing of Mace endorsing Trump for president in 2024. So the other candidate, Evette, she endorses Trump in January of 2023. Mace does not do it until January of 2024. However, I can report for the first time that timing was not Nancy Mace's choice. It was actually a very strategic, very petty move by the Trump campaign that was all about Nikki Haley, who you may remember ran against Trump for president, previously was the governor of South Carolina, and basically was the entire subject of Trump's ire by the end there, after they thought they'd already kind of, beaten Ron DeSantis to a pulp. So the goal is essentially to have Nancy Mace endorse Trump before Nikki Haley can even come back to her home state turf. And then it would be embarrassing if the most prominent other woman in the state, Nancy Mace, endorses Trump against the first woman governor coming back for a very crucial primary at that point in the winter of 2024 in Nikki Haley. So there's a steak dinner that Nancy Mace is taken out to. And at said steak dinner, they basically tell her, look, you're going to endorse when we tell you to, which ended up being the day before the New Hampshire primary. Big picture, Mace would get Trump's endorsement when she eventually would run for governor. Once in office as governor, Mace would endorse Trump's preferred successor in the 2028 presidential primary. Because again, South Carolina is a crucial state in the sequencing of the primaries. It usually goes third. And at that point, it can really decide who's on track to win the nomination. And it was kind of her official ticket, as one of my sources put it, to get back on the team. The quote I have in my newsletter post about this is essentially that, hey, why don't you do what we tell you, get back on the team? Because at that point, Mace had been on the ropes with a lot of people around Trump for coming out against him after January 6th. So Mace has already said that publicly for the first time today that the Epstein vote is what cost her that endorsement. And of course, I was reporting that she was telling people that for the first time in the New York Magazine profile back in February. But what you might see is the Trump people try to kind of, shift away from the Epstein of it all and try to put it on, well, she wasn't as loyal and she didn't endorse him first. But like the timing of her endorsement was not her choice is the thing I want to hammer home here. And, she did everything she could to rebrand herself as ultra MAGA around the president. And it didn't matter, for standing on her principles on that one thing on the Epstein discharge petition. She may have marked the end of her career in Republican politics for quite some time, because it would be really shocking if Evette doesn't win the primary at this point. And I think now that there is a Trump endorsement, because I think Mason people around her have been hoping that he just wouldn't endorse anybody in the Republican primary, she could get embarrassed in this race. And, too early to tell. Let's see what any polling after the endorsement does. But this is how it tends to go, is once there's a Trump endorsement, that person is going to get 60, 70% of the vote. But time will tell.
I can't stand Nancy Mace. I've trolled her here relentlessly. I have threads mocking her. Trump's endorsed candidate is worse than Mace. Dumb as a bag of bricks. Available for purchase. Running mate is the current governor's unaccomplished son. The endorsed candidate is worse. Wait a minute. What was that name again? Pamela Evette. I know that name. That's the lady that got packed up by South Carolina State. That's the same lady that got packed up by South Carolina State. Oh, yeah, she trash. Yeah, the lady that went with the woke mob, because ain't nobody want to hear her speak. Like that puts them in some kind of minority. Don't nobody want to hear you speak. Even Trump don't want to hear you speak. You only hear because he trying to get at Nancy Mace. Come on.
Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette wrote, quote, attacking and shaming law enforcement because you can't manage your time properly or provide accurate information so people can keep you safe is why people are tired of what you're selling, end quote.
That was Pamela. She taking shots at Nancy Mace too? Wow, how the mighty have fallen. No, Nancy, because you did say you were set up by Republicans and you got caught out there attacking law enforcement. Now, I remember that. Yes, you did.
You backed the blue. The police quote you in this report as you calling them effing idiots and effing incompetent while stating that you're an effing representative and telling a TSA supervisor, I'm sick of your shit. I'm tired of having to wait. I should not have to wait. You guys are always effing late and this is effing ridiculous. Are you saying you didn't say those things?
Well, Caitlin Collins, get off her! Get off her, Caitlin Collins, no!
Stop! He's already dead.
As far as you concerned, Pamela, that if you had something to say, you could have showed up and said it to her face. Now, you scared to even debate out here. Oh, I synced it. No Evette on stage. Pamela Evette skipped a South Carolina GOP debate for the second time. However, she was a target of Mace and Wilson for not showing up.
No, thank you so much. And of course, all of us had the courage to step into the arena tonight, the four of us, leaving one outside that didn't have the courage to be here this evening. This is a job interview. No, she didn't have the courage to be here. And I'm going to praise everybody up here on stage tonight for being here, jumping into the arena. This is not easy. You put everything, your life on hold for this tonight. And thank you.
Well, apparently she had some college kids that she needed to debate instead. So let me get this straight, Pamela Evette. You go crazy because you get packed up at South Carolina State to make an appearance where you were unwanted, but you can't even bother to show up to multiple debates about the office for which you're seeking. Yeah, she belonged with Trump. Total paper tiger. She belonged with Trump, for sure. I still don't think it's about the Epstein files. Trump endorsed the person he thinks will win. Mace did what Trump asked her on the Epstein files, and she supports AIPAC. It was AIPAC, Miriam, etc., who defeated Massey and ran MTG out of office. Even a lunatic like Mace understands Trump is attacking his own people because they help expose him and his pals as PDFs. and enablers in the Epstein files and is targeting anyone who helped reveal that to the media. Now, there's a lot of theories to why exactly he decided to snub Nancy Mace, but I want to go back to something that I said earlier about Norman, who's running against Nancy Mace, who was enthusiastically pushing the redrawing of maps to further disenfranchise black voters. And if there's anything that would curl Donald Trump's toes, it would be some outright racism and carrying his water. So why would he not have endorsed Norman? That's the part I don't understand. Let me explain this like you're five. Lindsey Graham is the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. Trump needs Graham because Graham controls the purse strings. Henry McMaster is the governor of South Carolina. He has an unaccomplished son called Junior. McMaster and Graham are good friends. Pam is McMaster's lieutenant governor and has nothing to run on and is as bright as a bag of bricks. Oh yeah, we seen it. McMaster tells Pam if she makes Junior her running mate, he'll get Graham to secure an endorsement from the president. Graham makes a phone call and bam, MAGA is all in on a nepotism hire and a candidate hand-selected by Lindsey Graham. Oh, so you mean to tell me the anti-DEI crowd is trying to engage in nepotism? No, ain't no way. Yo, just when we think we're approaching the merit-based society that we've all yearned for, we get something like this. I just can't. I just can't. Somebody bring me a sweet tea. Oh, here comes Nancy Mace. She trying to fight back. Congresswoman Nancy Mace issued the following statement to the voters of South Carolina. I have enormous respect for President Trump and everything he's done for our country and for South Carolina. That respect is genuine and it is unchanged. We have a state that's corrupt, a system that's broken, and an establishment who wants to stay in the shadows. It's been that way for the last decade since Pam Evette's been in office. And with the governor's son, Henry Jr., as her running mate, South Carolina can expect more of the same. All right. I will drain the swamp, not keep the same creatures there. I don't love that. South Carolina deserves a governor who answers to her people, not to the establishment and not to anyone who believes accountability is negotiable. May God bless the great state of South Carolina and then MAGA Mace. MAGA Mace. Nancy Mace. You gonna make MAGA get a restraining order on you? You put MAGA Mace down there at the bottom, a picture of you with Trump with. Hey, MAGA, y'all gonna have to file. Y'all gonna have to file when the court's open on Monday. She not gonna leave on her own. Well, call Capitol Police or something because, you know what I mean? Well, what's the squatter situation with MAGA? Where y'all officially go look at the jurisdiction and see how long she can squat in MAGA when she unwanted. Because y'all done already gave her the eviction papers. It don't matter what she talking about now. And here's a post from Nancy Mace. Contrary to Pam's lies, I did not vote to impeach Donald Trump. He and I have a good relationship. And she posts herself taking a selfie with Donald Trump fuzzy in the background. She don't got no circle. She don't got nobody that can talk to her. I did say she didn't have no friends. This what happened. This what happens when you don't have no girlfriends. This what happens when you don't have no girlfriends. You out here posting, he done told you he don't want you. He done told you he don't want you. And you out here posting, he ain't even clear. He fuzzy in the background. He fuzzy in the background. It's only gonna get worse till somebody take her phone. MAGA Mace. Nancy's rebranding so hard, the brand calls security. They gonna have to. They gonna have to, or call in the National Guard or something, because this is This is nasty, disgusting work right here. You know, there's let it go and then there's this right here. Just let it go, bruh. It's over. I mean, really. You know, that's nuts. You know, it makes you reframe every relationship in her life that she's handling it like this, you know. And then too, you got to wonder, like, who gonna bring you on next? Because if that won't work out, you ain't gonna lead. You know what I mean? Because I seen all the people that put the Waffle House, y'all put the Waffle House application, all that under her tweet, but I don't know. She ain't gonna lead there. She ain't gonna leave there if it don't work out. Then again, they don't never close. So that's probably not a bad thing if you have a Waffle House employee that don't leave. Touche. I see why y'all put that underneath there. That's probably the only good landing spot if we're being honest. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and special shout out to Carrie, Sharon, Jay, Andy, Jeremy, and Benjamin. And also Benjamin, there's multiples. They've made up my research squad, and really we couldn't have made it to this point without you. A huge thank you from me to you. Thank you. Now, as far as you guys are concerned, I've heard all your feedback. I know what you're wondering. Where in the world do we get They About to Drag You? Where can I download They About to Drag You? We have gotten bombarded with comments and emails about They About to Drag You. I would like to give a shout out to our editor here on the channel, my man Denzel. That is his baby. That all came from his mind and laptop, if we're being honest. That's pretty much what it came from. Yeah, boy. It's a fantastic piece of work, and if that's something you might be interested in, you can hit him up. You see what an incredible job he does on the channel. His contact information is right there on the screen. Now, in light of that, I thought this might be the perfect opportunity, if you haven't gotten a chance to hear the whole song, with, of course, some comedic accompaniment. Well, here you go.
They're about to drag you. They're about to drag you. In these comments. In these comments. In these comments. Oh, they're about to drag you. Hey, they're about to drag you. In these comments. In these comments. Screenshots say whole thread on fire. You type too quick, now they all inspired. Refresh, reload, naming every line. You hit send once, now you're trending right. They about to drag you. Hey, they about to drag you. Yeah, in these comments. In these comments. Oh, yeah. They about to drag you. They about to drag you. Oh, in these comments. In these comments. Laugh, reacts, flood. Every clap on beat. One wrong word. Now they quote your tweet. Say you did too much. Say you're not that guy. You can log off now, but receipts don't die. They about to drag you. They about to drag you. Hey, in these comments. In these comments. Hey, hey, hey. They about to drag you. They about to drag you. Oh, in these comments. In these comments.
Yeah, we gonna need another one. We definitely gonna need another one. And you know what else we need is some merch pics with the They About to Drag You face. Yeah, it's like a cousin to the Who Raised Y'all face is the They About to Drag You face. Yo, now I know the They About to Drag You face. I had that anytime my prep school went into Prince George's County. I say they about to, hey, yeah, I got a question. Wouldn't that also be the look that any Americans have anytime Trump travels abroad? That's the look any Americans have when Trump leaves the White House. The dragging begins when his foot hits that step.